Been pretty busy this week. The Women's World Cup has moved out of China, and it looks like it's coming back to the United States. Let's take a look at who's qualified so far.
Well, Carlos, the list is up to 13 teams now that Argentina has qualified for the upcoming World Cup. China has already qualified for the 2007 Women's World Cup.
Hope you guys are enjoying this game, especially back home in Rancho Cucamonga. Check us out in a few weeks on Memorial Day weekend. We play Wales up in San Jose.
Carlos and his family can make the venture to San Jose, California. Spartan Stadium live on ESPN2 Monday, May 26th. The U.S. takes on Wales. And when we come back, the live announcement of 16 names. They will be the newest inductees into the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame.
Phillips Electronics, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's and women's soccer teams.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, the vet will see you now.
What do you care? You've got the goodness of Reese's peanut butter and milk chocolate. Get lost. Enter Reese's.
Well, I had a really nice time tonight.
Me too.
Well, I guess it's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late. Yeah, it's getting so dark.
See ya.
Call me?
Do you know these people?
Hi, I'm a guy who fixes part of your communications network.
I fixed that gray box that you call the mystery cube. What's in that thing anyway?
Me? You don't know what it is I do? You just see me around a lot.
But in the state of Avaya, multi-vendor networks don't mean multi those guys. Here you have exactly one point of accountability, even if there's more than one name on the network. That means one call, not 20, just one. Isn't that easy? Reach Avaya, a higher plane of communication.
Welcome back to the Haviland 500 and checking the Haviland running order. The Haviland 42 car is moving up.
Yeah, boy, take a look at that Haviland Speedo and Haviland Tack on McMurray's ride.
Let's time this lap with a Haviland stopwatch.
That Haviland temperature gauge says his engine's running good.
It's time to pay some bills. Folks, this race is brought to you by,
Texaco Express Lube, featuring Haviland. I tell you what, it's easy to see why Jamie's doing so well.
And thanks for these beautiful overhead shots from the Haviland blimps.
When athletes sweat, they lose more than just water. Gatorade puts back sodium and potassium, proven to replenish and rehydrate athletes better than water. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Whatever your groove, we'll be there.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, the vet will see you now.
What do you care? You've got the goodness of Reese's peanut butter and milk chocolate. Get lost. Enter Reese's.
Close to 70,000 on hand from Houston, Texas, as the red, white, and blue and the red, white, and green are scoreless at the break. Glad you're back with us alongside Ty Keogh. I'm Rob Stone. If you're born in America, you play soccer in America, your ultimate goal should be to get to Oneonta, New York, isn't it?
To be a Hall of Famer. And we've got a big announcement tonight.
It's the new players being inducted as well as some of the builders. And these were golden years. Carlos Alberto of the New York Cosmos, former captain of Brazil and a world champion, and champion with the New York Cosmos as well. A class player.
Joining Alberto, Paul Child. Look at all those goals he scored.
A hustling player, a player that got onto anything in the penalty area. I played against almost every one of these guys in the NASL, and it's great to see them getting recognized. Karl-Heinz Granitza, a German with a beautiful left foot, a sweet strike on free kicks, and a hated enemy by my team. So
we go north of the border, Vancouver, and Bob Lenarduzzi.
Bob Lenarduzzi, former captain of the Canadian national team, and went to a World Cup with Canada, in fact, and a part of those big Vancouver Whitecap championship years in the Western Conference. Arnie Mauser, the goalkeeper for the U.S. national team, in some of the games that I was able to play in. It was an honor to play next to him. It's great to see him get recognized. Ace Neselenkwe from South Africa. No one ever got to see him in the World Cup because of apartheid, but boy, did he have a bag of tricks to show people every time he stepped on the field. Alan Willie, 142 goals. Super consistency in the North American Soccer League, and a good background in the English game. Bruce Wilson, another Canadian, being inducted, a member of the New York Cosmos, where he won a couple of championships there as well.
My boy Neil Roberts didn't get a nod. We'll keep working on you, Neil. It's not just the players that the Hall of Fame is taking care of, it's also the builders. 8 builders announced, and we begin with the founders of arguably the most recognized American soccer club ever.
Well, the New York Cosmos, they were a dynasty. Crowds of over 70,000 to see Pelé. And it was the Erdogan brothers and Steve Ross who pulled that together and really put the NASL in a whole different level. Ted Howard, a part of that as one of the administrators in the NASL in those glory years. Lee Stern, who could forget Lee Stern and the Chicago Sting. Clive Toye, a big part of the Cosmos and the NASL. Elizabeth and Joe Robbie, Fort Lauderdale Strikers and the Minnesota Kicks. Great stuff.
Congratulations to all 16, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Oneonta, New York for the inductions. Let's go to today's game, and we mentioned at the outset, speed is arguably the best thing the U.S. has going for themselves, and DaMarcus Beasley doing just that in the first half.
Yeah, it was Beasley and Donovan really combining on the left side, and Beasley confidence to go at experienced defenders. He's causing problems for Mexico. Good reaction there by Osvaldo Sanchez. Another ball here from Donovan. Beasley does not manage to hit the target. Look at Mexico's intricate combination play. And Arellano severely testing Tim Howard. And as we look at the Phillips Electronics goal cam, you see that, Tim Howard was not absolutely sure that he had kept that ball out of the net. Look at the great work here by Arellano, who showed up on both sides of the Mexico attack. Eddie Pope here, though, getting a clearance to the ball. Clint Mathis here, playing some very good balls into space, not only for McBride here, but later for Beasley. And McBride, an excellent move to cut inside, but he wasn't able to find the net beside a very good short post shot.
First part of the opening stanza belonged to Mexico. Second half of that first half was all U.S. What does the second half have in store?
That's a break.
Get your break going with the light, crispy, chocolatey taste of a Kit Kat.
Tradition.
The look on the other guy's face. To be my own Manning.
Being a woman.
Because last year, I couldn't.
Millions of little girls.
Every athlete is fueled by something.
Thanks for putting it up for me.
Never fall.
Sure looks great.
Here we go.
Yeah, I bet this happens all the time.
Get your break going with the light, crispy, chocolatey taste of a Kit Kat.
ESPN presents Stadium Anthems, a rockin' collection of sports greatest songs, including Get Ready for This, We Will Rock You, Start the Commotion, and more. ESPN Stadium Anthems, available May 13th.
Listen to this. Krakatoa.
Yeah, Art, that's a really good one. Jorge, what's your catchphrase gonna be?
Single with cheese.
Works good for baseball.
Visit ESPN.com today for your chance.
Mike Racers all at the mall. The first time for all Mike Racers dealerships in one location. Now through May 12th. Huge discounts. The lowest percentage rates ever. Ford, Pontiac, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, VW. Introducing Racer Power Sports. Now through May 12th. The first time ever for all Mike Racers dealerships in one location. Mike Racers all at the mall. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. now through May 12th.
Hello, I'm Senator Dick Lugar. This May 9th and 10th, I'm pleased to host a statewide job fair in Indianapolis, focusing on law enforcement, defense, and security-related positions. This job fair will bring together dozens of agencies of the U.S. government, such as the FBI, the Secret Service, the Department of State, and the IRS. Be sure to bring a photo ID with you to the job fair. For more information, go online to lugar.senate.gov.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Chevy. The cars you can depend on, the cars that last, will be there. By Texaco Express Lube, the smartest thing you'll ever do for your car. And by Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Welcome back to Houston, and it's a homecoming of sorts for number 8, Ernie Stewart, returning to his hometown for only the second time since he was 4 years old. Lived almost his entire life in Holland, and now Ernie Stewart is set to earn his 86th cap for the U.S. men's national team. He is coming on as a substitute for Clint Mathis. And there is Ernie with a substitution in mouth, hands it off to Kevin Terry, and Ernie Stewart. His 86th appearance, 15 goals, now playing his club ball stateside for DC United, and we are underway.
I thought Mathis certainly improved upon his more recent performances. Some very dangerous balls he was able to put through to McBride and Beasley.
Tim Howard tested early, coming off his line. This portion of the match brought to you by Budweiser. Well, we saw Ernie Stewart, Ty, come off the bench the last U.S. game in Seattle versus Venezuela, and he, without a doubt, spark-plugged this team, he and Landon Donovan.
Well, he's a savvy pro, a savvy veteran, and the quality of his first touch, the quality of his acceleration, and his pinpoint accuracy on his crossing finally opened some things up for the United States in that match. If you recall the World Cup match between these two teams, Ernie Stewart and Kobe Jones came off the bench and really added a spark to the USA, which helped them prevail in that 2-0 victory.
Valdez plays it back to Sanchez. Stewart applying some pressure. You already see Ernie talking to his mates, trying to get everybody to step up. Already trying to up the tempo to his liking.
It's a good tactic. You mentioned it, Rob. With this surface as bumpy as it is in parts of the field, pressuring the goalkeeper and the back line can pay off.
Sanchez has been to the dribbling academy lately.
They finally find a way out. Osvaldo Sanchez, one of several players on this Mexico squad from the Chivas of Guadalajara.
There's Briseño's pass intercepted by Armas. McBride closed down by 3 green jerseys. And Mexico wins it. Briseño. There's Donovan, interception. Donovan cuts to his right and spins back. Masrani, perhaps a little too ambitious for Frankie Haydick, but the U.S. earns a deep throwing.
That kind of ball is worth a try because it keeps the pressure on, especially when you know Haydick's speed is flying up that right side. So Mastroeni looking to exploit Haydick's speed.
That'll stay with the States. There's a good look at Ernie Stewart. Look at him. He's a coach on a field. A guy you'd love to have on your team.
What a fantastic career he just completed in Holland. Was a part of the U.S. efforts in '94, '98, and 2002.
Great layoff by Bautista. Perez sent to the turf.
In the position that Stewart is playing now for the United States, it's a little bit different from what we've seen previously for the U.S., but it's one he's most comfortable with from his last few years in Holland. He's a more central player. There were times where he was more of a wide player for the United States, but as he gained more experience, Bruce Arena gave him more responsibility to roam and become more involved all over the field.
And that is a textbook tackle there by Mastroeni. Goes low, wins possession for the States. Mastroeni of the Colorado Rapids. How has the combination of Armas and Mastroeni worked out in your mind so far?
Well, what we talked about is how it allowed Beasley to go up on the left side and how it allowed Haydock to go up on the right side, because both Armas and Mastroeni come back and fill in those slots when Mexico tries to counterattack.
Bravo just slugged Bocanegra in the back of the noggin.
Well, remember in the first half it was Omar Bravo who had his hand right in Bocanegra's face, trying to provoke something out of Bocanegra. Bocanegra thus far has kept his cool.
That's one of the reasons Bruce Arena likes these type of games. Stewart was getting a little tug on his jersey, and that's what he's complaining about right now. It's a good test when you see your youngsters in the face of adversity and they stand up to it, but don't overreact. We got on Landon Donovan a few months ago in the Argentina game for falling into that same trap.
Right, and we have gotten on Clint Mathis in the past in similar situations where he tended to lose his head.
It's Bautista. Caleb strips him. Haydock helps him. Here's Armas. Looking for options. Plays it to Donovan. Nice interception to Bautista and Donovan. Tugging and going. Long outlet. Bocanegra. That was Bravo pleading for a call.
Well, if you're going to let it go at the one end, you'd better let it go at the other end. And that seems to be the approach by Peter Pendergast.
Rodriguez. Ardiano has Armas on him. Mastroeni. Rodriguez directing traffic. Carmona. Back to Carmona. He flights one in. Tim Howard off his line, forced to backtrack. Haydock can't get it out as far as he probably would have liked, and that'll stay with Mexico. This portion of the match brought to you by Avaya. Good closure by Mastroeni. Stewart. Pablo felt that foul coming, the first one, and was able to prepare himself and bounce off of it. Taking that game to the next level and a quick restart to switch to Bocanegra.
Well, we see a contrast in styles here. Mexico very confident on the ball in tight spaces. They're able to make those combination plays in those intricate little plays like we saw in the highlight in the first half. And the United States tends to look forward earlier in their play, and it's been effective because they've penetrated Mexico. A little bit unfortunate in the United States that one of those Beasley chances or one of those Brian McBride chances did not become a goal. But Mexico, in another way, they do dominate the ball. They are able to control it for longer periods of time than the United States.
That ball off Eddie Pope. Carmona. Crowd starting to become a little more playful. Armas pokes it away to Donovan. Donovan having some ankle biters.
Well, they want to foul him there just to disrupt the play.
Pope cracks Bravo. That is a whistle on the field. Hard to hear in this crowd.
Omar Bravo has been mixing it up quite a bit with Carlos Bocanegra, but this time it was Eddie Pope who caught him from behind.
Eddie Pope earns the yellow for this foul.
Yeah, we've seen both teams playing very strong physical approaches to the game. And there's that Omar Bravo and Bocanegra. That was just the beginning of that.
must admit, I was incorrect.
You thought it was Pope. It was actually Omar Bravo.
I was confused why Eddie Pope was taking the free kick and receiving a yellow. Yeah. So Omar Bravo receives the second Mexican yellow of the evening. Possibly for a dive or dissension.
Fact, the signal was a dive from Pendergast.
Here's Donovan, a nice step up by Julio Davino. Just slid right in to close that one out. Altamirano, that ball hops through everyone. Pope. Bocanegra. Here's Armas. U.S. midfield given more time to turn and face than they had in the first half.
Well, there are very humid conditions here in Houston, and even though they kept the roof over Reliance Stadium throughout the day to try and cool things off, you have to think with the amount of effort, the amount of physical play that took place in that first half, that there's going to be more space available for the attacking members of both of these teams.
And there's space for Beasley, and again, Davino is there.
Yeah, Davino's had a wonderful game at the back for Mexico.
Throw in finds Donovan. Looking for the service, and he does. Haydick heads it back in, and that'll go for a corner for the U.S. Their second of the game.
Well, again, the United States hoping to take advantage of the big guys that they bring up from the back. Eddie Pope at 6'1", Danny Califf at 6'1", Carlos Bocanegra at 6 foot, McBride at 6'1", who's already up there.
Stewart to take the corner, drives it. Bocanegra was there, falls to Donovan.
Offside on the far side.
This portion of the match brought to you by Chevrolet. Brian McBride, in my book, is maybe playing his best MLS soccer of his career.
Well, you think of the confidence that he gained by scoring those goals in the English Premier League. But think about it, too. Brian McBride, the only U.S. player in history to score in 2 different World Cups.
McBride, #2 in scoring in MLS this season. Here's Mexico. Perez. Mastroeni. Just being a nuisance.
You know, it's not just confidence for Brian McBride. It's a sharpness that you see has been added to his game from having to compete at such a high level in England. Mexico, so good in possession. They like to entertain a little bit, even when they're not going to goal. Fans love it.
Mexico set to make their first substitution. Will be Alberto Medina coming in for, we believe, Omar Bravo.
You look at Davino there, knocking the ball around so nicely. He's very good in the air. The United States may have the advantage in height, but he's won most of those high balls into Mexico's penalty area.
Senyo, the service. Califf, a bit of difficulty, finds Donovan, who keeps it in, eluding the corner. Then the brave flick on to Mastroeni in the middle, who pokes it up top. McBride can't win it again. Julio Davino is there. Bautista spins and chips. Califf can't quite get to it. Nice switch to find Ardiano. Boy, do they respect him now.
How about those moves? How about that first touch after not a great bounce?
Stewart, nice anticipation. But Mexico sends it right back in. Perez. Valdez.
taking the lead in terms of overall possession and even territorial play. But the U.S. looks just as dangerous when they go the other way.
Caleb there. Outlet to McBride, who's bumped, stays with it. Brian does some bumping of his own. Play on. Beasley almost won that one. Rodriguez. Bautista. Oh, what a spin. Stewart is there.
Eddie Pope may have bumped Bautista just enough there. But with all of this ball chasing that the United States is being forced to do right now when Mexico establishes possession, it's bound to take its toll. You wonder how long the oxygen, how long the legs can last, and whether there'll be enough when the U.S. does win the ball, enough energy left after chasing so much to be able to attack the other way.
Here's your Mexican substitution. Stanley Cup playoffs heating up. Conference finals coming up this weekend over on ABC Sports. 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific this Saturday. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel. Check your local listings for what game will be seen in your area. Both teams now have made one sub. Valdez to Medina just on the field. Alberto Medina. Alberto Medina in the middle. And that is not a textbook strike.
Must be the orange shoes.
Orange, red, white, green. It's a rainbow gone bad.
Eddie Pope's been put to the test a few times here. He's on Bautista. Bautista makes a pretty good movement. It's a little clip there, a little bump, which slowed up Bautista enough for Ernie Stewart to come back and support Eddie Pope and make the defensive play.
Settled cleanly. And then laid off to Stewart. Stewart tries to split two. Donovan picks it up. Looking for Beasley and finding him. In the box is DaMarcus. Oh, the speed. And oh, the bobble by Sanchez.
Again, one of the USA's best attacking weapons is Donovan to control and burst into space in midfield. Lay the ball into Beasley.
Caleb, a big step up to Donovan. Wide open was Beasley and Stewart. A little miscommunication. This portion of the match brought to you by Reese's. And a simple foul there on Beasley.
Well, he's still got some gas in the engine, there's no question. He's still flying down that left side, Beasley, and Donovan will look for him. That was a huge World Cup qualifier. And always in Mexico City, you're well over 7,000 feet at the Azteca Stadium. And the U.S. played a lot of that game a man down.
Bocanegra to McBride. Again, you see that first touch popping up on him.
Yeah, it takes a little extra to make sure the ball is under full control.
There's Armas. That one off Carmona.
Mexico trying to step up there, trying to put McBride in the offside position. I think Armas may have released that pass soon enough. Had it gotten through, I think McBride would have been on side.
There's Donovan. That one rolls underneath his studs. Nice hesitation and burst of speed. Here comes Mexico. Collision off the ball. Carmona and Bocanegra hit. Play on. Here's Pope. Starting to see a lot of off-the-ball fouling going unnoticed right now.
Well, you're seeing a more deliberate approach in possession by both teams in taking their time to get into the attack. And what that does then, they're waiting for the runs to develop. So many times the players off the ball are looking for that little advantage by a tug on the shoulder, an early bump as they start their run.
Out of bounds throw in for the U.S. Arellano plays it wide, and Bocanegra read it, but Mexico still has it. Altamirano down the right side. Swings one in. Intended for Medina.
Frankie Haydock there, much like he did in the World Cup, though, taking his defensive responsibilities very seriously. Right there, step for step with Medina.
Frankie looks a little winded right there. That shirt is just grasping onto his body. It is hot and muggy here in Houston.
Haydock, one of the more unsung heroes for the United States at the 2002 World Cup. He has the speed to stay with world-class attackers, and he performed well and consistently.
McBride has Donovan to his left with a little chip. Finds Donovan. Donovan trying to drop it off. Here's Beasley. Whistle on the field. Whistle on the field. And a push off on the U.S.
Well, now you know why Mexico fears Landon Donovan and DaMarcus Beasley. They just about run away from Mexico's defenders on at least a half dozen occasions, but Mexico, a little bump, a little tug on the shirt, enough to disrupt them.
Arellano down the gut, lays one off. Tim Howard has it.
Caleb defending well there on Bautista. Here's Landon Donovan. He had the inside track for a moment. Now the legs tangle up. It's probably the whistle right there for a trip on Landon Donovan. The whistle had already blown. You see Altamirano raising his hand already. Mexico again. Unbelievably confident knocking the ball back to their keeper, Osvaldo Sanchez, even with pressure in their own penalty area.
Bobby Convey at midfield, set to come on for the States. Bobby Convey had started every game this season for the U.S. men's national team until today. So Bocanegra, Mastroeni, and DaMarcus Beasley, your only 5-game starters this year for the U.S. men's national team.
Oh,
yeah, Mastroeni's not going to get away with that one. Went right through Luis Perez.
Convey had been starting as the left back for the United States in all of 2003. But in this setup, a 3-5-2, but the United States, Bruce Arena seems to prefer that against Mexico. In fact, he surprised Mexico in a big way in that round of 16 game, coming out of the 3-5-2 with Claudio Reyna wide on the right.
Surprised us.
Well, and Reyna looked a little suspect defensively out there in the early going. The U.S. managed to survive that, and it was Reyna on a counterattack who helped create the USA's all-important first goal in that match.
Good game by Pablo Mastroeni. Bobby Convey comes on, and Convey has seen a lot of time at left fullback this season for the U.S. men's national team, but this clearly an offensive move.
He's taken up the same position, more or less, that Mastroeni was playing against next to Armas in the heart of the U.S. midfield.
Carlos Morales, number 7, and number 17, Israel Lopez on for Mexico. There's Tim Howard. Looked worse than it really was. This portion of the match brought to you by Philips Electronics.
And Bobby Convey does play more centrally, more as a playmaker with his club, DC United. Convey only 19 years old.
Donovan. Ouch. One more of those, and that's going to be a yellow. Quick restart. Here's Convey. Here's Bobby Convey. Fresh legs by one. The service, McBride! And that goes for a throw-in.
Hey, good wheels. Good touch exhibited there by Bobby Convey. He's fresh, and he ran right at the Mexico defense. And Bocanegra again plays a nice ball. Look at this quickness on the turn. Confidence by Bobby Convey, and McBride there at the near post. That kind of got caught between strides, and it would have been a difficult angle to score from.
That could have been Convey's 3rd assist of the year.
You love
the red, white, and blue.
You love that confidence. So with the defender right on him, with the one touch to collect the ball, the second touch to push it past the defender and turn it.
Beasley and Altamirano. Spencer Fields finds Morales. Collision there between Convey and Bautista. Coming up this Saturday on ESPN2, MLS Soccer Saturday, presented by Radio Shack. It's the MLS champion LA Galaxy traveling to New England to take on Taylor Twellman, Aiden Brown, and Joe Max Moritz. MLS Soccer Saturday, 4 Eastern, right here on ESPN2.
Mexico electing here to keep the ball on the ground. They don't see much chance of winning the high balls.
Bautista, that man right there, about their only real accountable threat in the box. As far as service is concerned, Arellano can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, he's shown that, no question.
Lopez plays it square. Faking the long-range effort and then chipping. Medina. Long-range effort. Had Howard leaning the other way, but the big man from New Jersey was there to bring it home.
And that was a knuckler. Pretty far out. Israel Lopez.
U.S. has gotten away, Ty, at least in my book, from playing it through Ernie Stewart. And the fouls are starting to accumulate. Danny Califf with the big one there, and he is that close to getting a yellow.
Israel Lopez, look at that ball tip. Cool, calm, and collected, though, is Tim Howard.
Bocanegra with the interception to Stewart. One time, broken up. Ernie with the foul. That's frustration. You don't need to hear Ernie talk to know what he's thinking right there. Bautista lays off a beautiful ball. Arellano closed down by Convey and Howard. Bobby Convey has done some good work in his brief minutes this second half.
Convey reacting well, but boy, was he backstopped by Tim Howard. Howard getting off his line in a hurry. Not leaving much for Mexico to look at.
Mexico starting to feel it. Armas is there to head it out. Donovan settles, and he's got a ton of acreage in front of him. Taking on Lopez. Convey getting in the mix. Donovan cuts to his right. Then plays it wide right to Frankie Hayden. Mexico back well in numbers. Hayden working the cuts. And that cross, not effective. Carmona down the left side. Look at all the space these players have now. Chip on. Bautista. Little mini bite. I like your creativity, young man. That's a striker's mentality, right, Ty?
Well, and absolutely, he's not had that many clear looks at goal, so he's now had to become more inventive. Not a bad idea to try that one.
Morales and Hayden mucking for the ball on the sideline. Here's Stewart. Back to Steady Eddie. I get the sense Hayden's tank is starting to get empty. Oh, a nice little spin into space by Medina. There's Conde. Handball.
Well, Convey doing exactly what a player who's just come off the bench should do, and that's do some extra work for his teammates who have been out there longer than him. Adolfo Batista, only 23 years old. The ball played very nicely by Israel Lopez. Over the top of Eddie Pope. It drops down. Bocanegra's right on it, but hey, he's going to try to surprise Timmy Howard. And if he gets a little more elevation on that ball, if Howard just a step or two more off his line, he might be able to lob him.
Bautista has produced at this level. Through his 5 games coming into today, 3 goals on the international level. Chris Klein set to come on for the U.S. national team. Irving Rubirosa set to come on for Mexico. And here is Mexico. Eddie Pope there to head it out. Danny Califf there in support.
Good, patient defending there by Danny Califf, who's matured so much in just the last year. MLS has been fantastic for him. Bruce Arena has been bringing him into camp after camp. Look at, he's got to make sure he doesn't make the foul. He has to make sure he does not dive in, and he plays it perfectly.
And we just mentioned Frankie Haydick looked like he was starting to get winded, and he's coming off for Chris Klein.
Yeah, that was, Rob, you called it, but that was not a tough call.
Those are the best kind of calls I make.
Haydick left it all on the field. There's no other way of putting it.
Great outing by Frankie Haydick. You're a fun player to watch, Frankie. Chris Klein of the Kansas City Wizards comes on. And a sub for Mexico. This one's surprising. Jesus Arellano coming off for Irving Rubirosa. I was really impressed with Arellano tonight. Scoreless in the 75th minute. The corner. McBride wins that one. Look at the flash bulbs popping on that corner kick. Beasley, that's a foul. This portion of the match brought to you by Haviland. 15th foul on Mexico.
If there's one thing that's been consistent, so Beasley's been in the mix on every 50-50 ball, and he pays the price again.
That one sent into the expensive sideline seats by Bocanegra. Donovan. Convey. Back to Pope. Dangerous. That one popped up. Should be a handball. Whistle on the field. Whistle on the field. I said whistle on the field.
Chris Klein coming on for the United States here in the latter stages. Adds a new dimension. Much like Chris Armas, Chris Klein sustained an injury leading up to the 2002 World Cup. Or it was very likely he would have been part of the U.S. 23-man contingent that represented the United States so well. So without Chris Klein, without Chris Armas, the United States still produced the results that they did.
Chris Klein, 2 goals for the national team, both of them coming this year. We told you it was a big old crowd in big old Texas, 11th largest for a U.S. game tonight, just a shade under 70,000. I thought they told me they only sit 69,000, so I don't know where the rest of them are hanging out. Howard content to slow this pace down. Let his men catch a breather. McBride wins that one. It'll go to Mexico.
Well, the United States has looked dangerous from time to time, particularly on the left side of their attack with Beasley and Donovan. Perhaps Klein could bring more to the right side, but Ernie Stewart hasn't had much of the ball.
Sanchez.
Yeah, too cool. A little too casual. But he's gotten away with it
so far.
Donovan keeps hustling, keeps pressuring, keeps forcing what he hopes is that fatal error out of Sanchez. That has to be a forward's mentality, too. You have to put pressure on every time because you might do it 30 times in a game. All it takes is once the misplay by the goalkeeper or one of the defenders to make it pay off.
Kobe Jones set to come on for Brian McBride. Last time Kobe Jones took on Mexico, he was a human piñata. Brian McBride, the captain, hands off the armband to Kobe. I don't think there's an American soccer player the Mexicans detest more than number 13, Kobe Jones.
Well, Kobe Jones has played in 15 out of the last 18 contests between these two teams, so he knows them well. They know him well.
This appearance, 160 for Kobe Jones, the all-time men's U.S. cap leader. 22 career assists, #1 in the U.S. books. Here's Mexico with an opportunity as we're busy propping up Kobe's resume.
Good experience here for Tim Howard. The psychological pressure of dealing with an immense crowd, of dealing with a game of this proportion. You don't get a bigger game between regional rivals than this, other than a World Cup, which rarely will you meet someone from your own region at a World Cup, particularly CONCACAF. And of course, World Cup qualifying, which normally in the early rounds, Mexico and the United States are seeded in different groups.
Mexico set to make another substitution as well. Fernando Arce ready to come on. This push of the match brought to you by Chiquita. Eddie Pope. Good solid tackle. Look at Chris Klein turn on the Jets and earns a throw-in with that pressure. Bobby Conde making a run for this throw-in as we slow things down for a substitution that apparently is being waved off. Well, we put on our flashback cap the last time Kobe met Mexico, and this hurts, folks.
Yeah, this was in the closing moments of that historic match, and the USA already leading 2-0. Jones came off the bench, and they just fought for every ball and got absolutely hammered on every play, but that's what the United States needed at that point, just some energy and a guy that was willing to fight for the loose balls.
Ruby Rosa just hammers Bobby Conde. Fernando Arce coming on, and Adolfo Bautista comes off for Mexico. Klein keeps it alive. Give and go with Armas. He was tugged down, and Prendergast did not see it. Missed that one. Long outlet. Danny Califf has played a pretty solid game today. Klein using his fresh legs and energy, forcing a back pass. Kobe Jones in pursuit.
Here's that pressure. The United States sending 3-4 players sometimes towards Mexico's penalty area.
Sanchez's ball intercepted, but the U.S. floats it right back to the Mexican end. Kobe hustling, drops a mini shoulder to Briseño.
You have the feeling Kobe Jones was hoping for contact with the player as much as he was hoping for contact with the ball. He probably still feels that hit he took from Marquez in the World Cup.
Here's Rubirosa. Irving Rubirosa. Bodies down on the field. Alberto Medina and Carlos Bocanegra had a collision. Following our game, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. Western Semi Game 7. Marcus Naslund and the Vancouver Canucks will try for a third straight game to eliminate those pesky Minnesota Wild. Following us next, NHL semifinal playoff hockey. Fourth minute, still scoreless from Houston. Wild clearance. Finds Medina. Poke back to Howard. That'll go to Mexico.
Well, Rob, with World Cup qualifying not that far away, you're talking about early 2004.
8 months away.
Games of this intensity really help in terms of preparing for those qualifiers.
Kobe Jones keeps it alive, swings it in, looking for Klein, just over the crossbar. Oh my!
Well, the two substitutes combining there to nearly put the USA on top. Jones finding some space in that far corner. Keeping it in play. And a well-timed run by Chris Klein from the opposite side of midfield. He gets out in front of Sanchez at the near post. Can't quite knock the ball under the crossbar. Here's our Phillips Electronics goal cam look. And Osvaldo Sanchez off his line, not getting the ball. But Klein not able to turn it on net.
Carmona, Armas. Has Chris Armas played a good game coming back for the red, white, and blue, or is it just me? There's Beasley. Conde showing that hustle to win it back. Stewart to Klein, who just missed that opportunity. Donovan takes a bump. Play on. Still has it. Spins. Eludes one. Eludes another and plays it back. Conde, good square ball to a wide open Armas. This portion of the match brought to you by Gatorade. Here's DaMarcus Beasley. DMB by 1. Service, Stewart. Sanchez has it.
Ernie Stewart trying to get on the end of that Beasley ball. How about the energy in Beasley, even at this late stage of the game? He's flying down that left side. Who can avoid the costly error at this point? Who's good enough to capitalize if an error is made?
Who's going to force that error? Here's a turnover. Armas wins it. Plays it to open space. Medina and Califf tripping each other up. Califf wins it. Here's Kobe Jones. Rosa spins the service, and that one blocked by Bocanegra. 7th corner of the game now for Mexico.
Ricardo Lavolpe and his trademark blue jeans and his bigoton, the big mustache.
I haven't seen jeans in a sport coat since my 8th grade Christmas dance. Stewart, the clearance. Here's Donovan. Cannot settle it. Won very well by Mexico. And again, the Mexicans settle and control. Rodriguez. Lopez. Wide right. Stewart having to work hard on defense. Prendergast doesn't buy it, and we play on. Here's Beasley to Donovan. One time to try to get by his man. Nice step up by Combi. The 3 youngsters playing hard. But here comes Mexico. Carmona, the vet. Wide open, Rubirosa. slides through everyone, and Howard has it. Stewart, long ball to Klein. Klein fighting to keep it alive. And a late whistle, foul on Chris Clyde. We take a look now at our Reese's break of the game.
I have to take you back to the first half. A great chance for the United States, set up by Clint Mathis on the outside of the foot pass. Beasley about to take a shot from in close. And Davino. That's the Reese's break of the game. It's an almost certain goal for the United States without the play by Davino.
Minute. Who's going to be the hero? Davino plays off a short one. U.S. defending very well, giving Mexico no cracks right now. The one is forming now. Closed down.
Bocanegra coming through there again with a big tackle.
And again, Mexico regroups. Pope not letting his man turn. Armas is there to continue it.
You know, very alert of Eddie Pope to realize that almost nothing's being called, so he's taking advantage.
Great outlet. Donovan, a little behind Kobe Jones.
Yeah. Donovan disappointed with the quality of that pass. Had that final ball been more accurate out in front of Jones, Jones could have broken through in the clear.
Medina. And then Pope beyond midfield. Kobe crashes. 2 minutes of time will be added to the clock. Lopez plays it wide right. Here's Rodriguez, who's gone the distance for Mexico. Rubirosa has been dangerous since coming off the bench. Morales. Rodriguez still. Lopez.
This is much of what we've seen from Mexico. A lot of possession, not a great deal of penetration. The United States keeps numbers behind the ball.
Beasley bumped off, brings the whistle. Less than a minute left in this one.
Well, the U.S. with Chris Klein pushed up on the right, with Kobe Jones pushed up on the left, Donovan in the center. Still looking for that one last gasp effort. That's a long ball over the top of the Mexico defense.
If this result stays put, the U.S. will go to 3-1-1 in 2003. Up next, a game in San Jose Memorial Day weekend that Monday versus Wales. Ryan Giggs coming to town. This should just about do it. This game about what you expected, Ty?
Well, and Peter Pendergast, the referee, he's let a lot go, but he's been consistent about it. The U.S. defenders figured that out. They started throwing their arms around and playing pretty physically. DaMarcus Beasley, the victim of a lot of physical play throughout this game.
Solid game from the youngster representing Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the Chicago Fire. Tim Howard, yet another shutout for him. 5 saves tonight. Howard now with 2 career shutouts representing the red, white, and blue. U.S. 0, Mexico 0. We'll be back to wrap it up from Houston after this.
Very funny.
What?
For that long road to maturity, we'll be there.
Welcome back to the Haviland 500 and checking the Haviland running order. The Haviland 42 car is moving up.
Yeah, boy, take a look at that Haviland Speedo and Haviland tack on McMurray's ride.
Let's time this lap with a Haviland stopwatch.
That Haviland temperature gauge says his engine's running good.
It's time to pay some bills. Folks, this race is brought to you by,
Texaco Express Lube, featuring Haviland. I tell you what, it's easy to see why Jamie's doing so well.
And thanks for these beautiful overhead shots from the Haviland Blimps.
Let's recognize the team, the champ and the underdog alike. Those who fail and succeed together. Because that's where the strength comes from. Standing up against adversity and knowing another stands right beside. As the chain goes on, the NCAA championships on ESPN. Coca-Cola proudly helps student athletes pursue their dreams.
It's our 40-hour marathon sale. We made doughs like Tiger, but we won't close for 40 straight hours. So come and see us and save like never before. Remember, 40 straight hours, we're going to sell a car or truck an hour. So see us and save like never before. That's Hubbard GM Center, where we have 6 dealerships in one location: Chevrolets, Cadillacs, Pontiacs, Buicks, Oldsmobiles, and GMC trucks. See us now and save at our 40-hour marathon sale.
Get to Menards for the big outdoor leisure sale. Take home big savings on the best selection of patio furniture, like this 5-piece evergreen wrought iron set by Plantation Patterns that features spring action chairs, only $176. Or how about the classic look of genuine red cedar patio furniture by Wellington? This premium 5-piece table and chair set is just $359. Check out all the great deals during the outdoor leisure sale at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
The largest soccer crowd in Texas history sees this one end 0-0. DaMarcus Beasley had a huge impact on this game, and as a result, he is our Chevrolet Man of the Match. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 in DaMarcus Beasley's name to the U.S. Soccer Foundation.
Well, DaMarcus Beasley initially took a physical pounding, but was able to be the most consistent attacking threat for the United States down that left side, especially in combination with Clint Mathis here and with Landon, Donovan on a few other players. And Beasley's electrifying speed opened things up. The USA could not capitalize, but Mexico still does not taste that great payback that they were hoping for.
U.S. returns to action May 26th in San Jose as they take on Wales, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN2. Our next broadcast, the U.S. women taking on England. Coming up next, NHL hockey. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Ty Keogh and our crew, I'm Rob Stone. Good night from Houston.
The Minnesota Wild have been doing it the hard way this playoff season. On the brink of defeat 7 times, they have stared